Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me in the back? Yes? No? No? Get it closer. You know I'm looking right at you. Is that Tristan? Back. Good evening. I am Cindy Anderson, your Dean of Students and co-advisor to the Associated Students of Northern Arizona University, and I am quite pleased to invite you to what I think is the inaugural in the history of ASNAU candidate debates. I need to tell you that I am totally excited at the level of engagement that I see in this room that is about students taking responsibility for their own experiences while at the university. I am also quite delighted to have so many incredible students and current leaders interested in taking on the mantle of additional leadership. You should know already that your choice will be hard and your decisions are very important to the future of NAU. I need to also say that this role of elected leadership is very, very critical. It is different than being a manager, right? Because managers know how to do things right. But leaders wear that important but heavy responsibility of doing the right thing. So, without a delay, I would like to get us engaged with our first ever debates, and I would like to invite to the stage your two candidates for student body president, Lauren LeCure, Leah Klaus. Let me share a little bit about how the debate is going to be managed. Each of our candidates will have an opportunity to make an opening statement that will be 2 minutes long, and we do have a timer in the front row. And Christine, I'd like you to show what those warning signs look like so your candidates know what it looks like when they have 1 minute, 30 seconds, and what does it look like when time's up? There you go. And depending on if it's myself or the chair of the election commission who is sitting here at the podium, we will signal the end of the response from our two candidates. I'd like to say a word about our two candidates. Lauren LeCure, and by the way, both of these candidates are in the honors program. Both of these candidates have enough hours to be seniors, even though they have a whole nother year left. So you should know they are excellent students in addition to being very committed and compassionate leaders of their student body at present. Lauren is a dual major in hotel restaurant management and political science and currently serves as the vice president for academic affairs of the Associated Students of Northern Arizona University. Leah Klaus is an exercise science major and serves as the senator for the College of Health and Human Services. So, before let's see, we're going to do a couple coin flips about the candidate statement and the question order. I'll explain that a little later. So, to my two esteemed candidates for office, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. I'll go first this time. 6. 3. The number was 6. So now, wait. That just means that now Lauren gets to call the coin flip. Tails. She's calling tails. And it is heads. Senator Klaus, you can choose to either go first with your candidate statement or to go second.
I'll go first.
And your time starts now.
Good evening. My name is Leah Klaus. I'm a transfer student, a member of the queer community, and an advocate for transparency and inclusion on this campus. I've served in ASNAU as a senator for almost a year now, and I've seen its potential. I believe ASNAU can do more for the students, and I'm dedicated to finding feasible solutions to their concerns. I believe we need to create policies that protect marginalized groups on campus, including DACA, queer, Muslim, African American, international, and disabled students. This includes opening a line of communication with NAU PD to establish a timeline for de-escalation trainings. Part of protecting students involves also making NAU a sanctuary campus. We come to NAU in pursuit of an education. However, there are students among us who do not know if they will be able to finish their degrees. Another topic of interest is keeping Mountain View Creek, because we know space is limited in Flagstaff and the campus community. I promise to fight for that. Creek life has been a pillar of NAU for decades, and we need to preserve that tradition. I also plan to utilize my connections within parking and shuttle services to get a bus stop that is more convenient for Mountain View residents. Furthermore, we need to amend NAU's snow day procedure to include solutions for disabled and off-campus students. No student should have to miss school due to weather conditions or icy roads. Lastly, I hope to continue to make this campus an entertaining and enjoyable place to be. I will work hard to ensure we still have a homecoming carnival, despite losing our normal location at the Wilson Tinsley parking lot. I believe we can build ASNAU to be an organization that is inclusive and accommodating for all students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Klaus. Ms. LeCure?
Before we start tonight, I think it would be great to take a moment to recognize the life of Ryan Wallman, a lumberjack we lost this weekend, and to have a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. True leaders are not defined by what they say, but what they do for those that they represent, and how they overcome obstacles that block their path to progress. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for taking part in this debate. You have truly shown your passion and excitement for the future of NAU. I cannot be more excited to share my story, my vision, with you this evening. My name is Lauren LeCure, and I'm running to be your ASNAU Student Body President. Together, we will make NAU more than a university. We will make it a place to be proud of, a place to help inspire, and a place where everyone has a home. A place that expands mental health services, supports survivors of sexual assault and violence, and gives students the unending support and resources to stand strong in the moments that test us to our very core. In this next chapter of the story, when we are tested, when we are met with adversity, we must stand together to show what it truly means to be a lumberjack. A lumberjack ensures that all individuals are given the same opportunities to succeed, and that everyone has an equal voice, an equal vote, and equal representation. A lumberjack will always strive to help, to unify, and to positively impact others. Tonight, I will show and explain my plan to dream, achieve, and believe. This plan will unite the campus community, increase opportunities for success, and empower our lumberjacks by solving problems that negatively impact us.
Time.
Thank you.
Our next section is going to be an opportunity for both candidates to answer questions that have been formulated by the ASNAU Election Commission. The director of our election commission, Jody Cantor, is a senior in criminal justice, and she will be posing the questions to the candidates. I'm going to again ask for a random number between 1 and 10. Whoever gets closer to the number that I'm thinking of will call the coin flip. The person with the coin flip, or the winner of the coin flip, then can determine if they want to go first or second on the first question. The election commissioner then will pose each of the four questions to the two candidates, but they will alternate in terms of who will respond first. So if a candidate elects to go first on the first question, then they will go second on the second question. Make sense? Okay, so since I went to Ms. LeCure the first time, I'm now going to turn to Ms. Klaus and to say, think of a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to go with 4.
9.
And the number was 4. So, all right, Ms. Klaus, heads or tails?
Go heads.
Okay. And it is tails. So you can elect to go first or second on the first question.
I will go second.
All right. I'm going to invite to the podium now Joe DeCanter, our election commissioner, who will pose the questions from the election commission for the 2 candidates.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. So, where does ASNAU stand in matters of diversity, and what do you plan to do for the international community on campus?
It's a very good question, and I appreciate whoever did answer that, or ask that, my bad. On diversity, my personal stance is that we need to increase awareness about diversity, increase the support for diversity. Currently, ASNAU has a diversity director, and we just recently approved a diversity intern of my initiative. I think diversity is such an important thing on this campus, and as much as we would love to say that we are totally immersed, the reality is that we're not, and we need to do more work, and we need to help students. We need to create safe spaces on campus for international students and DACA students. There's a lot of work to be done in that area, and I would say ASNAU's stance would be we need more work done, essentially. You know, we need to do more to help these students, and we need to make sure that their education is protected and that they are safe on this campus.
Thank you. Okay. Where does ASNAU stand in matters of diversity, and what do you plan to do for the international community on campus?
Great. Thank you for that question. So as your student body president, what's important to me is diversity. It really is. What's important to you all? Diversity. So together, let's create an open line of communication. Let's make a student advocacy group that meets every single month with people from all diverse communities, people from RHA, people from FSL, people from every community on campus. Let's gather them together. Let's create that space where we can share ideas, we can brainstorm, we can hear the issues on campus that are really affecting students. That's what's important. We need to make sure that every issue that a student has is addressed. And that's what I'll do as your student body president. As for the international students on campus, I would love to create an international student career fair. How great would that be? Something for them to focus on. They can bring their resumes. It'll act just like a career fair. It would be so great to have that for them. Also, I think it'd be awesome to create an international prayer room for anyone on campus that would like to use it. That's an essential because we are such a diverse community with so many international students. Having an international prayer room is definitely something that I would advocate for. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Lauren. What are some ideas you have for parking on campus?
Great question. Parking on campus. Who likes it? Oh, okay, we got a few. That's great. But how can we make it better? That's the thing we have to ask ourselves. That's the thing, as your student body president, I'm going to ask myself in every single area, every single day. How can we make something better? For parking, environmentally friendly people that like to use different modes of transportation other than cars, such as walking or biking, will get 12 free parking passes for an emergency. You wake up 5 minutes late to get to class. Oh no, what are you gonna do? You can't walk there on time. So what do? You have an emergency parking pass that you can use. Another thing for parking, I know the South Commuter lot is a mess and it's really hard to get out after campus. It takes 10 to 15 minutes for cars to exit. Let's find another way to route that so we can get kids out faster to get where they're going. Next, let's lower citation prices for tickets. No one has $90 to spend on parking services. Although we should be parking in the correct places, we can make it a little bit more affordable for people to drive on campus. Lastly, I'd like to make parking lots secure and safe on campus. That means adding more lighting if that's necessary, adding the great blue light system to more parking lots around campus, anything like that that we can create a more safe community for people to park. Thank you.
Thank you. What are some ideas you have for parking on campus?
When we consider parking on campus, we must first consider the logistics of it. You know, every department on this campus has a budget, and they have to work within that budget, and unfortunately, as much as we would love to hand out free passes, sometimes it's not feasible. So, in terms of practicality, what we can actually do for the students, I think our first job is to increase awareness. There is no reason to get a parking citation if you're not breaking the rules. You will not get one if you do not break the rules, and that's just how it is. Parking on campus cannot be free entirely because there has to be some sort of regulation system, or everyone would park and you wouldn't be able to park at all because everyone would be parking where you want to park. So when we talk about parking, we need to think of what is realistic. We can increase awareness about it. We can work with parking shuttle services to make sure that their PR team is letting the students know everything that they can possibly do. We can look into resources like eco passes, which offer free bus route rides for many students who can do it. So when we think about parking, we need to think about the students, and we need to think about, let's not have extra construction on campus, let's not have extra commute times on campus, but let's get the resources out there, let's let the students know all of their options, and let's work with what we have to make it better, instead of expanding where we can't go. Thank you.
Thank you. With campus safety issues on the rise across the U.S., what are some things you would do to ensure students are safe on campus?
I think campus safety plays into a couple of different areas. Number one, we need to look at mental health. It's a huge issue on campus. We need to decriminalize it, because right now, some students, just for having a mental illness, risk suspension or expulsion. Number two, we need to focus on diversity organizations and diversity groups. We need to make sure that they feel safe. We need to establish safe spots on campus they can go in an emergency for protection. We need to protect DACA students. We need to protect international students. Number three, I agree with Laura. We do need to increase blue lights on the campus. You should be able to see one from every position that there is one. And right now you cannot. So we do need to up that safety, and we should increase the number of safety protocol and making sure things work correctly. Safety on campus is of utmost importance. And so the last thing I think we really need to work on is snow days, because there's no reason that a student should be stuck on campus because classes were not canceled in time. There is no reason that a student should get hurt because they felt that they had to come to school, because they invested in their education, but their education is letting them down. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren, with campus safety issues on the rise across the U.S., what are some things you do to ensure students are safe on campus?
Definitely. Thank you for that question. Student safety issues are on the rise in the U.S. We've all heard about it, and we're all extremely concerned. As your student body president, my job is to protect you. My job is to protect every single student on this campus. And how do we do that? How do we ensure that every single student is safe? Well, I have a few ways. One of them is to create a student safety week, where we can focus on each person's safety. Whether that's bicycle safety, getting everyone on campus bicycle lights, because sometimes they're hard to see at night. Getting a personal safety, like self-defense classes, for anyone that needs to walk home when it's dark. Increasing the blue light system, like I said before. That's super important for everyone to be able to spot a blue light anywhere they are. And lastly, campus safety. Making sure that our campus is a place where everyone feels that they can come, be themselves, and be completely safe no matter where they are. I think that includes, like Leah said, mental health. Creating a 24/7 mental health hotline with students that are well-trained and well-versed in the things that they'll be dealing with. More walk-in hours for mental health issues on campus in the HLC. And lastly, continuing the Mental Health Awareness Week that was awesome this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren, what do you plan to do for the academic well-being of our students on campus, specifically ideas regarding the library and curriculum?
Great question. I've been well versed in the area of academics on campus. I think that will definitely lead to, as your student body president, being able to handle those academic policies well for you all, for the students. So, I'm sorry, the question specifically asked for
The academic well-being on campus, specifically library and curriculum.
library. Great. So I will fight for 24-hour library openings. I think that's so important. Just because some people like to study earlier in the day, some people do way better at night, everyone's different in their study habits. So let's keep it open all the time. I think prior military service should receive credit. I think if you come to school being a veteran, you deserve to have some credits in place for those years that you served for our country. I think that we should add an honors college senator on our Senate seat, as we are building an honors college on campus. It's essential to the student body. I think we should create a syllabus bank for all students on campus, where before you enroll in a class, you can look at the syllabus, see what's detailed out for that semester, see what the teachers are going to ask of you, see the assignment load, see all of that stuff that's essential. Also, it'll help teachers because then we can get rid of syllabus week. They can have a whole extra week of teaching. It'll be great for everybody. And lastly, I'd like to ban clickers, as there are many other online forms to check in with attendance in class, and many other online forms that you can use to answer questions if that's what your teachers are doing. But to pay hundreds of dollars for clickers is a bit ridiculous, and I think it's time to ban them on campus. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you plan to do for the academic well-being of our students on campus, specifically ideas regarding the library and curriculum?
I'd first like to say, in order to get an education here, you need to be able to attend school here. You need to be of utmost of mental health. You need to be welcome. You need to be safe. And so before we can really consider academic well-being, we need to make sure that our students are not being suspended and expelled for various things, such as mental health illnesses. Secondly, to address the 24-hour library, I think it's a wonderful idea. I do. Right now, ASNAU does have the library open 24/7 during finals weeks, which costs us $80,000. So looking at resources, as much as I would love to keep it open, I don't think it is feasible within this next year. I don't think ASNAU could afford it unless we take away things like the spring concert or homecoming week. However, I think there are a lot of options that we can do on campus. We can increase awareness about tutoring. We have wonderful tutors on this campus who often sit alone. We need to make sure students are aware of them and are attending them. In addition, we need to address the concerns of students. A lot of students take classes that do not relate to their major. I do. It's Bio 182. I don't think I should have to take that. And students need to give us that feedback. And then we need to talk and work with our Vice President of Academic Affairs and address these curriculums. You should not be taking classes that are not necessary for your future. You're here to get an education to benefit us, not to make us work harder, or not to make us try harder, I must say. We need classes that are going to help us learn and help us move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our debate now moves to you, and we're going to entertain 4 questions from the audience, and there are, I can tell, very spirited and committed sets of stakeholders here for each candidate. So I'm going to pick 2 questions from people who are here in support of candidate Klaus, and 2 questions in support of people who are here in support of Ms. LaCure. So for Senator Klaus, okay, right there in the front. Oh my gosh. Fernanda, thank you. I was like, you know, that deer in headlights kind of thing. Okay. Okay. And one more who for supporting Senator Klaus. Yes, what's your name?
Me?
Yes.
I'm Juliana.
Juliana. Okay. And now I'd like to get two people who want to ask questions who are constituents, holders, or fans of Senator LaCure. Okay. And what's your name?
Quinn.
Quinn. All right. And one more. Oh, wait in the back with your hand held high proudly. I think I need a translator for that. Kristen, thank you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go back and forth. So as I ask each one of the stakeholders who is asking a question, your candidate will have the opportunity to answer it first. All right? That will be true. And I will go back and forth between the stakeholders. So Fernanda, I'm going to start with you. And then Ms. Klaus, you'll answer first. And then Ms. LaCure, you'll answer second. Quinn, you'll be up on base, so you'll be my second person. So Fernanda, what is your question?
Okay, so both of you gave statements as we all heard. It is kind of like a question, but it's personalized to each of your statements. So the question overall is, what's direct impact that you have done in your time at the ASNAU, specifically, what have you done for sexual assault and what have you done for diversity?
Everybody hear that? Okay, so the question that Fernanda asked is that she's asking specifically about things that the two candidates have done during their time at ASNAU. So Fernanda asked specifically, what has Lauren done relative to sexual assault, and what has Leah done relative to diversity? Ms. Klaus, you'll answer first.
As a member of the queer community, I know how important diversity on this campus is. I know how important inclusion is. In my time at ASNAU, I feel like I've done the work just. I worked with our diversity director to create a diversity intern position. That has never been done before at ASNAU, and I believe we need to expand it even farther in the future. In other areas of diversity, I consider mental health to be a sector of that. And I was really crucial in the planning and implementing of the very first Mental Health Awareness Week. I also serve as the vice president of PRISM, which is an organization that serves the LGBTQ students on campus. And there, I have worked to create safe spaces on this campus to ensure that every student feels safe, to serve that every student feels welcome. I'm an advocate for diversity. I speak with diversity groups. I encourage them to run. I encourage them to participate. I encourage them to raise their voices, communicate, because their voices matter. Their voices are not heard as much as they should be right now. And so I've done what I can to help amplify them. Thank you.
Ms. LaCure.
It was based around what my participation with sexual assault awareness is. Is that correct?
In your time at ASNAU, yes.
In my time at ASU. Great. So, as you all know, I'm sure, we have an It's On Us Week. It's a great campaign that I've been a part of for the last 3 years while I've been part of this great organization. I've gotten to table, hand out shirts that we've created, listen to stories, go to all the events, watch everything take place from beginning to end each week. I think that It's On Us Week is crucial to our school. I think we could even have a sexual assault awareness week of our own as well. I think that during this upcoming month, which is the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we can definitely implement a week where we can make sure that we advocate for those students on campus that feel that their voices aren't heard after enduring sexual assault or sexual violence, anything of the sort. I think this is absolutely crucial to our student body. I think we create a walk called Consent is Mandatory. I think we create a slogan for the entire week, Consent is Mandatory, because consent is mandatory. It is important that we make sure that we advocate for every single student on that campus, on this campus, and that includes those who have been affected by sexual assault or sexual violence. And that's what I plan to do this upcoming year as well. Thank you.
All right, Quinn, your question.
So in both of your opening statements, you both mentioned homecoming week and school spirit. What would you do to bridge the gap between groups like FSL, athletics?
Thank you for that question. I think that during those times, and during any time, we should be creating what I talked about earlier, the student advocacy groups. We should also have groups of students around campus that enjoy participating in those things, or maybe feel unsafe at those events. We need to gather together, we need to find out why you feel unsafe, how we can make it better for every single student to have the best time of their life during those weeks like homecoming and things like that. I think by gathering everyone together, hearing what each group on campus would like to see from these events, we can make sure that your 23 fee is being used properly by the associated students. Thank you.
Senator Klaus.
I'd first like to say that I think part of the issue we have is just getting the word out about this. You know, we have a great PR team, and we have great flyers that often are left in the office. So we need to first work on our PR team and make sure that students are hearing about these events. The second thing I personally would like to implement is an ASNAU-sponsored tailgate that's not for just student groups, but something that where we invite all students and all student groups to come with us and to hang out with us, to learn with us, and enjoy food and games. I think that sounds like a great time personally. And I think by implementing these things and implementing that inclusion, inviting other groups who typically either do not seem welcome or do not come. We need to include them, get the word out, and then that is how we do increase spirit on campus.
Juliana.
Hi. So I would like to ask both of you, what are your plans to help to make sure that the 23 fee goes back directly to the students? I know that if you're not a part of an organization, basically the 23 fee really does nothing for you other than for the free events that happen during the school year. But I want to know, like, what are some ideas that you have to better use that money for all the students?
Senator Klaus.
Thank you for asking. One of the things I would like to implement is expanding the resources that the 23P offers. It's paid for the students and it should go back to the students. And so I think our club headquarters, which currently offers free printing to clubs, should also offer free printing to individuals. Because just because you are not in a club or an organization does not mean you shouldn't be able to print on campus. Printing is expensive, and we need to address that. And I think we can accommodate for that. We have it in our budget. The other thing we need to do is to cut spending on internal affairs. We need to make sure that the money that we are spending is going back to the students and not to our own well-being. By doing these things, the money will go back to the students. Thank you.
Vice President LeClaire.
Thank you. I would love to sit down with students all across campus and discuss what your 23 fee goes to. I truly believe and I advocate for the 23 fee because I feel that it does go to student needs and student necessities. I think Leah, my opponent, is correct that we can definitely cut down on internal spending, but I think that for the most part, things do go to the students. Things come right back to you. But how can we make it available for every single student, not just people in maybe student organizations? That's definitely something that we can talk about. That's having the mental health hotline for everyone on campus. That's having the library open 24 hours for every student on campus. That's making sure that people know about the concert, the carnival, the student organization, and individual funding that we offer right now to every single student on campus. Let's make the 23 fee work for you. So what does that mean? Come into my office anytime. Let's talk about it. What do you want to see happen with your money? Let's find some solutions. Let's create an action plan. Let's do something if you don't feel like it's working for you right now. Thank you.
Krista.
Do you think Green Bud houses and chapters should be forced to open membership to all genders, or should they be allowed to discriminate based on gender?
Vice President LeClaire.
Thank you. As your student body president, my job is not to make a call like that. You have nationals, you have executive office, you have all of these larger organizations. These things are national organizations. It's their call. 4 out of 26 fraternities and sororities right now are open to all genders. Let's talk about it. Let's sit down with each individual chapter and discuss, is this the route that you want to go? I'm open to it. I never want to discriminate against anyone. But I think that that's a bigger call than something that a student body president of NAU should make. Thank you.
Senator Klaus.
I actually have to agree with my opponent. I don't think that is a call the student body president should make. My personal feelings are that the Greek life institution has existed for many years like it is, and it should be up to the presidents, the nationals, whatever organization bodies regulate you. And it's not up to the student body president to decide whether or not they should be inclusive to all genders. I do believe that they should be inclusive to the gender that they are specific to. That includes adding queer members and having them a part of your organization. But I don't think it is the student body president's decision to choose whether or not they are voted. Thank you.
Our two presidential candidates now will be given 2 minutes for closing statements because Vice President LeCure went second for the opening statement. She will go first for the closing statement, and Senator Klaus will go second.
As you've heard tonight, I'm running on a plan to unite every group and student on this campus and empower them to help create the most connected and compassionate campus community to ensure success and personal growth for everyone. Together, we can dream and bring light to the visions we have to make this university the best version of itself. We can achieve new heights. We can set the standard for what it means to include and to give a voice to every individual student, student organization, fraternity and sorority life, ROTC, residence hall associations, and the list goes on. As we make a conscious effort to implement and establish this new and inspiring direction, we can believe there can be a place where everyone belongs, everyone feels at home, everyone can expand their understandings, is challenged academically, and ultimately becomes the best person that they possibly could be. Now is the time that NAU unites, the time NAU stands together. I am so proud and humbly honored to be a candidate for president in this election. Thank you to Tori and Sydney for helping share our message this evening. Vote for me, Lauren LeCure, for president, Tori O'Reilly for vice president of academic affairs, and Sydney Stogner for vice president of student affairs on March 7th. Because I know that if we can dream, achieve, and believe, nothing can stop us. So Lumberjacks, let's stand together. Thank you.
Senator Klaus.
During my short time working in ASNAU, I have scratched the surface of what the students need. I've created a program that will give free eye clickers to students who cannot otherwise afford them through collaborating with the Emergency Textbook Program. I was instrumental in planning ASNAU's premier Mental Health Awareness Week, and I took the initiative to draft ASNAU's first diversity intern position because we know that committing to diversity on this campus is not a one-person job. I give you my word, if elected ASNAU president, I will listen to every concern and do everything in my power to address them. I am determined to go beyond representing the students. I want to build relationships with every group on campus. When it comes down to the bottom line, the students deserve a leader who is going to fight for them. We are tired of dreaming about change on this campus. We need specific actions that are going to benefit the students. It's about quality, not quantity. So go out and vote on March 7th for the candidate that you can trust to move us forward. Thank you.
I'd like it to have our two very worthy candidates for student body president greet each other with a handshake, and I'd like the rest of us to greet them with our applause for their courage in running for this most important office on our campus. I am now very honored to tell you that we have other incredible leaders who are running for office, and I would like to invite forward the two candidates for Vice President of Academic Affairs to the podium, Kyle Davis and Tori O'Reilly. Each of our vice presidential and senatorial candidates has been informed that they will be able to give a 2-minute statement relative to their candidacy, and they have also been informed that we will be going in alphabetical order for each one of the offices. So I'm going to invite Mr. Kyle Davis to share his personal statement first.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Greetings, fellow students, faculty, and staff. My name is Kyle Davis, and I would first like to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. I'm a junior studying criminal justice and political science. As a former senator, Senate parliamentarian, and current senator for ASNAU once again, I have learned many things about our campus. And most importantly, I have heard many student concerns. It is because of you that I have the motivation to stand up here and speak to you today. It is you, the students, that I've been fighting for in the Faculty Senate, on the Resident Life Advisory Council, Parking Services Committee, college dean meetings, and even meeting with President Rita Chang herself. Here are just a few things in which I would like to accomplish if elected as your Vice President of Academic Affairs. I will focus on bringing more diversity within the classroom culture and within the Honors College. I will bridge the gap between the administration, colleges, clubs, organizations, and ASNAU. I will increase the amount of money that ASNAU has allocated to be able to give clubs, individuals, groups, and organizations on campus, along with keeping your student fee the same. I will work towards having the end of the semester course evaluations count towards a professor's performance report, because the course evaluation is direct student feedback, and the administration should be taking it into more consideration. I will bring back the true reading week policy that we all want and need. I will dedicate in keeping the 4-year tuition pledge program that keeps all of our tuitions the same for all 4 years. This is vital due to the fact that students are always in fear that they will not always be able to pay for their education. This is your education that I'm talking about. You have so much invested in NAU and this organization.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Senator O'Reilly.
Thank you, Cindy. What an incredible night, Lumberjacks. The chance to come and listen, debate, and decide the future of this amazing university. Tonight we come together representing different majors, different beliefs, different goals, and different passions. Passions that drive us to put in the energy, and effort to stand what we believe in. This type of passion makes us courageous. Now, my name is Tori O'Reilly, and I am running for Vice President of Academic Affairs. I am standing here tonight because my Lumberjack story, I am passionate about ensuring that every Lumberjack becomes better equipped to make an impact. Academics brought us here, but they also cause us to second guess our goals, celebrate like you scored a touchdown when grades are put in, or because Klein Library isn't 24 hours, you had to study in your comfy bed at home, which caused you to fall asleep, then drooling on your textbooks, hoping that they desperately don't cost you $375 now. That will be my focus when elected. Removing the burden of extra costs because no student should be forced to sacrifice a meal, purchasing a clicker when free online versions exist. No student should have to sacrifice student time to work overtime, not to pay tuition, but to afford a math book that costs more than a ticket to Disneyland. This needs to change, not someday, but right now. Tonight we will create a spark that sets the stage for real, tangible change for the Flagstaff Mountain campus. I could continue to list bullet point after bullet point about our policies, but the truth is we are here because you exist. We are here because of the Lumberjacks. If any students here tonight have any ideas for something that could leave a lasting impact on the Lumberjack community, please email me at vpaaelections17@gmail.com. I would love to hear your opinion. Please vote for me, March 7th, Tori O'Reilly, for Vice President of Academic Affairs, Sydney Stogner, Vice President of Student Affairs, and Lauren LeCure for President. Because with these two passionate, motivated, and intelligent ladies, there isn't a problem or task that I wouldn't take on with confidence and grace. Lumberjacks, let's do this.
I'd like our two candidates for Vice President of Academic Affairs to greet each other with a handshake and the rest of us to greet them with our applause. It is now my honor to invite to the podium candidates for the Vice President of Student Affairs, Joe Olas and Sydney Stockner. As with our Vice Presidential candidates for Academic Affairs, each of our candidates for the Vice President for Student Affairs will be given 2 minutes to make a personal statement. We will be going in alphabetical order, so Joe Olas will go first.
Hello, my name is Joe Olas. Okay, raise your hand if you are in a club at NAU. I'll turn up. Okay, raise your hand if you have been to an event on campus. Sweet. Raise your hand if you heard about an event after it happened, but you wish you went. Haven't anybody? For sure, for sure. Okay, so many of you guys and so many clubs are doing incredible things right now. And my time in office, I want to help all of you guys. I will fix the communication between ASNAU and all student groups by building great relationships. My biggest goal is to further the mission of clubs that already exist on campus, like BSU, Kuwaiti Club, Associated Students of Women's Issues, Green Jacks, Tri-Delts, all y'all guys. Yeah. So all clubs are trying to create a long-lasting impact at NAU, whether it's in diversity or sustainability. Or helping the less fortunate. I want to be able to support you with your legacy. I want to increase representation of underrepresented groups by publicizing them and endorsing them. Guys, Senate, there's 7 positions open, so run. And also, Vandana Shiva said, uniformity is not nature's way. Diversity is nature's way. So we should follow that. So raise your hand if you think sustainability is important. Woo! That's awesome. Okay, so I will strive to make ASNAU have waste-free events, and I would like to see the student gardens expand because student gardens are awesome, and I want to give back to the community. And if you elect me into office, I will promise to give my best to every single person I talk to. I'll give my best effort, and I will always, always, always listen.
Time. Senator Stockner.
Hello all, my name is Sydney Stockner and I am running for Vice President of Student Affairs. I want to personally welcome all of you to the first ever ASNAU Candidate Debate. The pillar of all communities is the ability to discuss, debate, and partake in conversations that spark progress, challenge the status quo, and create an atmosphere that is dynamically adapting and moving forward to new heights, and in our case, more inclusive heights. Each of us came to NAU, excited, inspired, but also scared and anxious to start this new chapter. We made friends, we found a place to fit in, we fought, we cried, pulled all-nighters, even slipped on ice, and changed our majors. We realized that we are not defined by our career choices, but the person we become along the journey. In other words, these 4 years are a time to learn, a time to find ourselves, a time to expand our ideas and grow into the best version of ourselves. But to be the best version of ourselves, we must invest our time, energy, and passions into ensuring that NAU is the best version of itself for the next high school graduates to come and experience. We will impact the world, lumberjacks, but first we must positively impact our home. With me, I promise you we will not be defined within Arizona as the School of North. We will be defined by our willingness to protect all students on this campus despite any opposition. We will be defined in the nation as a leader in sustainability, inclusivity, and the ability to empower each lumberjack to fight for what they believe in. With me, every community will have an equal voice. We will fight to keep Mountain View Greek, just as we will fight for the survivors of sexual assault and sexual violence, just like we will stand up for those struggling with mental health by expanding the services on campus. We will fairly and passionately solve problems. Tori, Lauren, I am so honored to stand up here and embark on this journey with two of the strongest, most passionate, and driven women leaders I have ever met. Together, we will put lumberjacks first, and we will create thriving campus culture and community while ensuring that the next time you feel overwhelmed or stressed, you will not take it on alone. So I'm hoping that we will all have your vote on March 7th. Make your voice be heard. Let us stand together and expand the resources for all lumberjacks, empower one another to accomplish all our wildest dreams, and ensure that these will be some of our greatest years of our lives. We are on campus. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Stogner. I'd like to invite our two candidates for Vice President of Student Affairs to greet each other with a handshake, and for the rest of us to compliment them with our applause. We have one candidate for Vice President of Government Affairs, Amber Beasley, but unfortunately, Amber had a conflict. To read her statement is Jacob Gavin, current Chief of Staff, Associated Students of Northern Arizona University.
Thank you, Sydney. So I asked Amber to send me a 2 to 3 sentence, rather 2 to 3 minutes statement about the classroom. So I'll read it from her perspective. Obviously, my name isn't Amber Beasley, and I'm a junior majoring in sociology, criminology, and criminal justice. I'm currently running for Vice President of Government Affairs, and my hopes are to help increase and further the education of diversity on our campus. Whether through diversity training or representation of diversity through faculty, students, and staff, I will work with the student body and Board of Regents to diversify our campus, as well as working towards addressing the price of parking, price of citations, and parking booth fees with the big execs in charge. I hope to represent all of the student body's concerns by connecting the concerns to the Arizona Board of Regents. And together, we can make this our dream. She listed her Instagram, which is AKAT_19, and she says, let's be friends. Thank you for your time.
As you heard previously, by the way, as I'm getting ready to call for candidates for senator, we do have a few positions open, and packets are due March 10th, thank you. I'm getting old, so I need to have the sign language, and I appreciate that. So if after hearing from these wonderful candidates for the office of senator, you too are similarly motivated, it's not too late. Packets are available from the Associated Students Office upstairs, University Union, room 206, and are due with 150 signatures and other information by Friday, March 10th. I'd like to invite to the stage all 6 candidates for senator, which means Jake Gavin will again be standing in for an absent senator. But I'd like to invite Shanley Blair, Brian Hamilton, being represented by Jake Gavin, Alejandro Hernandez, Sarah Holditch, Charles Cooper Montgomery, and Jack Wilski to the stage. Al can be up on the stage, and we'll have you stand in the back then. So, let's see. Yeah. So the first to give a statement will be Shanley Blair.
Hello, everyone. Before I begin my small speech, I just want to thank you all for coming today. I know that some of you may know me as your TA, so thank you for coming as well. My name is Shanley Blair, and I'm the current Senate Clerk for ASNAU, and I'm running as Senator. As my first time running as an elected official, I'd be honored to represent not just a specific group of people, but the entire student body, and to be your voice. I pledge that I will lead as an advocate for you, your educational opportunities, and your personal expansion. On my platform, I hope to also represent to our student government our university's growing diverse population. While we strive for more inclusion and support diversity together on our campus and in our classrooms, I believe it is imperative that our student government reflect this as well. Thank you.
Jacob Gavin will now read a statement from Brian Hamilton, candidate for senator.
Hello, my name is Brian Hamilton. Good evening. My name is Brian, and I'm a junior exercise science major and chemistry minor. I transferred last year from Yavapai College in Prescott, where I was able to make lasting relationships with several of my professors, advisors, supervisors, and classmates as a tutor, teacher's assistant, and volunteer. I'm working hard to continue to have a positive impact on as many people as possible as a biology SI and as an officer for the Exercise Science Club and by running for ASNAU Senator. I'm honored to have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people around me. I will work hard to support ASNAU and the students and clubs of NAU. Thank you, and my name is Brian Hamilton. Please vote for me.
Alejandro Hernandez.
Good evening, NAU community. My name is AJ Hernandez. I am a third-year student at NAU majoring in business management and marketing. I'm running for senator this year because I want to use my last year to give back to a university that has given so much to me. NAU has provided me an abundance of personal development, leadership, and involvement opportunities. I've met so many people in the last 3 years who have encouraged me to get the most out of my college experience. It is because of this motivation that I now have the drive to do the same for others. College is a crucial time for everyone to work on their personal development and to begin working on long-term goals. When I first came to NAU, I had no idea where I wanted to go in life, and I honestly didn't want to do anything. My mindset was, I'm going to take my classes, I'm going to get my degree, I'm going to be out of here. 3 years later, I'm now the president of Theta Chi Fraternity, vice president of Scholarship and Awards for Delta Sigma Pi Business Fraternity, a member of Order of Omega Greek Honor Society, and an employee for the Community Development Center. In previous years, I've also served as a residential learning community mentor and an Olson Scholar for Social Justice. Being at NAU has motivated me to get involved in as much as possible, and now I want to use this motivation to benefit a wider community. My goal is to represent and serve the students of the business college. If elected, I want to hear from students about what they believe can be done to improve their college experience. Some students may be looking for improvements in academics, some are seeing problems with campus culture, others just don't know in what ways they can actually involve themselves on campus, outside of class. I want to hear all ideas, any ideas from students, and work with our dean and any other key administrators to make improvements where possible and where needed. I'm open to all ideas because it is important to me that all students at NAU leave feeling like they were able to do what they wanted and got everything they could out of their college experience. Thank you all for listening. I hope that you all take the time to vote on Tuesday to vote for the individuals that you feel will best fill all these positions.
So neither Sarah Holditch or Charles Cooper Montgomery are with us, but Jack Wilski is.
Hello everyone, I am Jack Wilski and I'm running for Senator at ASNAU, obviously. I'm thankful for the opportunity to help students around campus connect with clubs, events, and each other. As the president of New Student Government, I've had the opportunity to connect transfer students and freshmen with the university. One of the things that I've noticed about campus is all the positive aspects that come with being a part of a club, organization, sports team, and the like. And honestly, they're just fun scenes, like just straight up. Not only do students get to interact with each other, but they get involved with the campus, with the community, and it keeps them busy. My goal, if I'm to be elected as senator, would be to push more students in the direction of extracurriculars around campus. There are so many great clubs around campus to get involved in, be it for academics, entertainment, careers, or to help the community. Countless studies have shown that the benefits of students getting involved with the school countless studies have shown the benefits of students getting involved with their school. Such benefits are being the construction of a community, a friend group, people to talk to, better GPAs, better time management, and learning career skills. The benefits of extracurriculars is one that cannot be ignored. Thank you all so much for your time, and I wish all of my fellow campaigning senators the best of luck.
Thank you to all of our candidates for senator and to all of our candidates for elected office. Now, she's not prepared to do this, but I think it would be only right that their student body president, who, with her executive team, envisioned the idea of these candidate debates to come and make a few closing comments on behalf of your student body. Vanessa Pomeroy, will you come to the stage?